Good morning. Welcome to Saturday morning's live crafting marathon, day 2 for Go Breakin My Heart. I'm so excited to kick off today. Listen, if you're watching this part of the video, I know you're a replay watcher. Be sure that you're on my Telegram channel because I will be sending you today's traceable heart pattern that I'm using in today's project so that you can recreate some of your own grubby, grungy heart bowl fillers that I'm going to be showing you to make today. So come on in. Good morning, Miss Tammy. Good morning, Miss Mary. I'm so excited to be here to kick off day 2 of this event. And if you haven't heard, today is day 2 of Go Breakin My Heart. All heart-themed projects, craft projects, bringing to you some ideas for some heart-inspired crafting and decorating all weekend long. I'm so excited to be here. Good morning. I know it's early. I did not send a Telegram reminder this morning. Usually I'll send one quietly, but I just thought, I'll wait. I'll send my Telegram watchers the replay link later. Good morning, Miss Jeanette. You all are up with the chickens this morning. I'm telling you, I probably wouldn't be up and ready this morning and this early if I wasn't presenting this morning. I feel like I need some toothpicks for my eyes this morning. Good morning. How are you all? Good morning, Miss Gail, Debbie. How are you guys? Well, if you could see what I have on my crafting table this morning, you would think we're going to be cooking up a good breakfast. So I've got the spatula. I have some coffee mixture here. I even have the hot plate, a griddle. You don't know what we're getting into today. I don't even know what we're getting into today. We're going to experiment by bypassing the oven. We're going to see if we can't put some grunged hearts on the hot plate and crisp them up and make them some really cute bowl fillers, or they could double as some primitive little heart-shaped ornaments for a garland or for a little small tree or something like that. Maybe you decorate for the holidays, each holiday throughout the year or something like that. Good morning, Miss Norma Jean. How are you? Listen, if you are new to me, I'd love for you to let me know. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And all my regulars, I love to see you all show up down there in the comments as well. Y'all come on in here. We're going to kick this day off right with some good primitive style crafting. All right, you guys, we're going to hop right into it because we've got a lot to chunk in here in the next 45 minutes. I am going to be using today, this is just quilt batting. Let me show you. This is the 100% natural cotton batting. I do believe I grabbed this at Hobby Lobby. This is just something I have had in my stash. Let me turn this hot plate down for a little bit because I'm feeling the heat come off of it. And here in about 2 seconds, I'm going to be sweating bullets if I know. Good morning, Miss Joy. We're going to have some fun, and hopefully this will turn out. We'll see. We are going to first start out by cutting some little heart shapes. And if you want today's traceable pattern, be sure that you're on my Telegram channel because I am going to, when I'm finished today, I'm going to trace these hearts out and send you all a printable sheet that you can just print off, and it will have the size, the dimensions that you can just trace on to your material or whatever you're going to use this morning. Good morning, Miss Deanie. I did not get to catch many yesterday. I did go back and watch a few replays last night of day 1 of this event, but I've got a lot of catching up to do. I've been kind of nursing myself along here, and I thought it would be best if I just kind of take a break last night and doctor myself so that I would be ready for you guys this morning. I'm still kind of struggling along here with this cold that I've had. Good morning from Australia. It's probably not morning for you. That's right. It's midnight in Australia. Oh my gracious. Isn't that amazing that we can reach so many people across the globe, you guys? And warms my heart that y'all are here. Good morning. Good morning from Henderson, Miss Gina. I know where you're at in Henderson for sure. I am familiar with Henderson. In fact, that's where my husband and I got married. There at Audubon State Park in front of the big castle. I am super familiar with Henderson. Not far from there. Not terribly far. Okay, let's start. I do not have a pattern of a heart ready. I'm just freehanding this, and then I will trace what I have and send you guys on my Telegram channel. Good morning, Miss Lara. Chrissy, how are you? Jenny, Debbie, how are you? Good morning. All right, we're going to keep on going here. Let's see here. Why am I kind of nervous to start just diving in here? I don't know. I do know that I want them. I have a little wooden dough bowl I have, and I'll show you guys in a minute. We're going to revamp that little dough bowl. And for Valentine's Day, or this could probably pass for something like for Americana or for all year long. I'm not going to go super Valentine color-ish, if you will. It's going to be very neutral and perfect for any kind of everyday. Good morning. Thank you, Miss Debbie. Good to see you, Miss Pam. How are you this morning? I am just going to kind of, well, that's not going to work. Let's use a little Sharpie. Do I have a Sharpie? I do have a Sharpie. I just kind of want to freehand my heart pattern on here real quick first to kind of give me a guide. And once I get my shape kind of, hey, Miss Angie and Patty, how are ya? Once I kind of have a shape figured out, I will trace this pattern and send the printable pattern to you guys that you can recreate your own little hearts, or you can freehand your own just like I'm doing. Totally up to you. You might even be able to find a printable pattern online. Anything with primitive, you want kind of that hand-drawn, hand-shaped look. Honestly, you don't want it perfect. So it's very forgiving. So I think we're going to start right there. Did my scissors. There we go. Actually, let's start with this rotary tool first. Let's cut. We're going to make several of these, but I'm going to start right here. And if I think this is a good size, we'll trace out the rest of the hearts with the same pattern, and we'll go from there. This is a super easy project, perfect for a crafter of any kind of experience level. And I am using cotton batting. If you tuned in a few minutes after I started, we are using cotton batting today. I want these to be a little bit thicker, but I didn't want them to be something that I had to sew together. They thicker than fabric, but thinner than like a little cushion or like a little pillow or anything. We're not going to stuff these. So if this turns out and you want to make your own, then you'll know how to do it. And if not, I'm going to be your guinea pig to troubleshoot and find the best way to make them. So y'all chime on in here and let me know what you're doing today. This event is going to be going on all day today. And I believe starting the second half of tomorrow as well. All of the info for the event group where you can catch this amazing event is all included in my video description. So you'll want to check that out for all of the info if you want to watch the rest of this event. You'll want to check out that event group, the Chuffed Berry Circle. Okay, there we go. That's a sweet little heart. Okay, I think that works. Now, I'm going to go ahead and trace this one right down here. Cut this one, finish cutting this one as well. It didn't quite cut all the way through, so I'm just going to finish it. And you know what? Now that I'm sitting here cutting these out, I think it would even be cute if not all of these hearts were the same, size, same shape. A little bit of variation I think would be good, actually, because we're going to put these in a little collection in a little dough bowl. So I think they would just be super sweet to have a little mixture, if you will. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be cute. This cotton batting is a little thicker to cut through, and my scissors aren't quite the sharpest this morning. In fact, I'm going to get this one cut out, and then we're going to kind of speed on through the process so that I can show you the process, and then you can recreate as many as you want, okay? And we'll go from there, because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time cutting this morning. All right. The next thing we're going to do here, and y'all are going to probably want to get some gloves or some paper towels ready for this one. I think, going to kind of just stretch this batting just a little bit to kind of break loose a little bit of the fibers. I don't want it like super, I don't want the cuts to look super straight. You know what I mean? I want it to kind of look tattered a little bit. So I'm going to kind of stretch. And you can see you get a little bit of that wavy look when you do that. Good morning, Miss Shar. Oh, you're so sweet. I've been missing you. I hope you're doing good, Miss Shar. I caught you live a couple of nights ago, and I was able to watch you. Good morning, Miss Steenie. Good morning, Miss Debbie. All right, I got my jar of coffee grunge here. We're going to shake it up good to get all of that sludge at the bottom loosened up. Good morning. Have a great day. Yes, hope everybody has a great day. Good morning, Miss Tony. All right. Whew. All right, here's my brush. I'm just going to use that to kind of stir up that sludge. I want that sludge. I'm going to pour this into a bowl. And I want to make sure that sludge is basically the cinnamon that settles down at the bottom. Now, you could paint this on these little hearts, but I want to make sure that they're soaked. I'm going to turn my hot plate on, and we're going to see if this is going to work this morning. And while these are crisping up, we're going to use some homespun fabric and cut out a little bit smaller of a heart. Okay, now let's just dip these right in here. I'm going to use my scissors to kind of dip that around. Dip it, dunk it, whatever you want to do. And you'll see what I'm doing. I'm just dipping it down in that coffee grunge, and it's going to soak up that instant coffee and cinnamon and vanilla. It's going to smell so good. And it's almost going to look like we're creating like little, sort of like little thin sugar cookies, not sugar cookies, like gingerbread cookies or like spice cookies or something like that. Now, right down here, I have a hot plate. A griddle, if you will. Let's slide this over here. And we are going to pop these right down on this hot plate. Let me turn this around. I don't want to burn myself, so hang with me. Instead of using the oven this morning, we're going to use a hot plate. And we're going to see if this will work to crisp these up. We're going to be a guinea pig this morning here. Good morning, Miss Stephanie. Uh-oh, that's not good. We're having some Facebook glitches, I think. All right. Now, how warm do I have this? I think it'll be warm enough. We're going to see. We're going to crisp these up, and we're going to see if the hot plate will work. I think it will. I am going to kind of shake the excess off, okay? And I'm not going to put this on the hottest part of my griddle. Usually the hottest part of my griddle is down where my heat element plugs in. So this is kind of the coolish end. We're going to plop these on here. We might hear a little bit of a sizzle. We'll see. Kind of sounds like we're making pancakes. Making some flapjacks. Yeah, you won't want it to stay on there long. And it will get kind of burnt and crispy. Let's turn it down a little bit. I probably have it a little too warm, so I turned it down a little bit. This will be fun to see how this turns out. I do want it to kind of get a little crispy, because I want these to be little bow fillers or something that will hang and keep their shape. Like if you put these on a garland or hang these as little ornaments. Okay, here we go. We're going for number 2. pretty fun. That's satisfying. That one is sizzling, you guys. Looks like French toast. You're right, it does, Lisa. All right. I needed to bring my little set of tongs in here. That would be better. All right. So we're learning as we go here. And you can see that one is getting a little blotchy, so like it's sticking. You know what I mean? So we might have to apply some more coffee grunge over top of that. We'll see. We'll see how crisp it gets it for us. All right, I'm going to let that kind of sit and do its thing for a minute. And while that is kind of just warming, I did turn it down, so I think we'll be okay. We are going to cut out, maybe, what did I do with my scissors? Probably right under my hot plate, maybe? No. Oh, yeah, I used them as dippers. I'm going to cut out a few little hearts down here. I'm just going to freehand cut these. I'm not going to go through the trouble of tracing them out. But once I get the little pattern going and find out the shape that I need, I will send the pattern to you guys on my Telegram channel so that you can print these off and have the sizing that I've used if you want it. Okay, freehanding this is turning out to be a little bit more of a challenge than I anticipated. I need some lines. Okay, that'll work. Yeah, that cooled way down. That might be too cool, actually. Let's warm that back up a little bit. I was hoping having it warm enough would kind of like, sort of like sear them in a sense. You know, when you put meat in a hot skillet to sear it, or, you know, veggies or something, I was hoping it would kind of crisp it up from the get-go. But maybe warm, slow and warm might be the key here. Okay. All right. Got those little mini hearts. And we're going to dip those in the coffee grunge too. I cut those on a fold, so I got to cut the bottoms off. Come on, unfold. Not wanting to cooperate this there. Oh, that one worked good. Okay. So we're just going to throw those in the coffee grunge bowl and let those soak up some coffee grunge, and then we'll throw those on the hot plate too. Now, let's just say this little hot plate experiment doesn't work. What can you do to crisp up your fabric? Put these on a cookie sheet and put them in a real low temp oven and flip them about every 4 or 5 minutes until they're dry, and they'll be perfectly crispy for you. Perfectly crispy. All right. So I'm going to throw those on the hot plate as well, and then I'll scoop the hot plate back up into my frame here where you guys can see. Okay, we'll see how this works together. And I'm only going to go with those 2 for now. I'll get the other 2 out later when I go to finish a few more. Okay, let's toss that down there, and let's kind of get a view of what's going on here. I do want to make sure, I think probably what I might need to do, okay, is dry out some of that excess coffee grunge so that there's not so much to cook off. You know what I mean? So let's do that. You can see that these are not going to be super Valentine-ish. They're going to be more of a neutral, everyday color. In fact, that coffee grunge, I almost turned that homespun to where it looks black or brown, like a black or brown pattern. It was like a burgundy color, but it looks more brown after I've, and that burgundy color might pop right back out after they dry. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just dabbing out that excess there. Okay. Now they're wanting to curl up, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I'm going to probably, I will probably either use some fabric Mod Podge or some hot glue. Oh, that worked perfect. Okay, you guys, so the back side, the trick is to go slow because that right there is perfect. And I feel that crispness on the back. I do. I feel the crispness. So that's what I'm wanting. So, so the first time I put that on, my hot plate was a little too warm. So there you go. We're learning as we go here. Now this side, let's check this one. That is also working pretty good, but I probably should have dried out some of that coffee grunge first. So, so that it would crisp up a little bit faster. We're only 20 minutes in. We've got a lot of time here to finish these. So we're all having fun experimenting this morning. This one that we threw on first, since it kind of stuck a little bit, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my little paintbrush into my coffee grunge bowl over here, and I'm going to recover those spots. I don't want to re-dip it because I don't want it that saturated again. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to take that coffee grunge mixture. If you do not know what the coffee grunge mixture is, you can find the recipe pinned at the top of my Facebook page, My Sweet Home Living. If you want to get a pencil and paper down, I will give you the quick recipe real quick. But if you forget it or don't have pen and paper handy right now, you can go to my Facebook page and find it. There's a little graphic, kind of sort of at the top of my page. All right, it's a little recipe graphic. All right, you'll need a cup of hot water. I think that's going to work nice. And I'm going to put that back there where it's a little hotter. Good morning, Miss Lisa. You will need a cup of hot water, a half a cup of like some instant cheap is the way to go here. Instant coffee crystals, okay? You don't want regular coffee. The instant coffee is the trick here because it dissolves. Instant coffee. Then you'll need 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. Sometimes I use pumpkin pie spice if I don't have cinnamon. And then you'll need 2 tablespoons of vanilla, okay? And that's all I put in a mixture. I put it in a jar, mix it up. It will get kind of goopy, sludgy at the bottom. Shake it up. I'll put it in the refrigerator when I'm not using it. But it's perfect to use on fabric crafts. Well, you know what? That's so bizarre. I think the heat on this batting, I think must be pulling that coffee stain to the other side. Is that not weird? Because I know this one didn't stick on that side. I don't know. We're just going to keep adding and keep playing here until we get these good and crispy. And you guys will learn the trick with me here if it works. I think it'll work. We'll just kind of fine tune the process, if you will. But do you see how that coffee grunge mixture gives like the perfect grungy look? And that if you don't like this style, you can totally skip this step. You could use some watered down chalk paint and kind of dye your fabric, if you will. You could totally do it that way too. In fact, if we had enough time, I would experiment and show you that method too. And I might do that on a different day. But I think that would be totally cool too. Okay, I'm trying to pull this one up in the back. It wants to stick a little bit. But if you just kind of ease it off, it'll work well. Okay, now let me show you something that I'm liking. And I didn't know that this would happen. Do you kind of see, my light will kind of pick up where it wants to pull and puddle some of that coffee grunge goodness, kind of bubbles it and kind of crisps it up. I like that. I don't know. This may not be your style. And if not, that's totally understandable. But like I said, you can kind of revamp this and make it your own really easily. All right. Now, these little fabric pieces have crisped up. Not quite as crispy as they would be as if they were in an oven. I'm going to scoot them back here to the hotter part, the hottest part of my griddle, and see if that'll crisp them up a little bit. But typically I would put these in a hot or in a low temp oven and on a cookie sheet and kind of bake them up. But we're trying something new this morning. I didn't want to craft in my kitchen this morning, so I thought I'll bring the hot plate in here and we'll test it out. Good morning, Miss Sharon. Good morning, Miss Tanya. How are you, sweet friend? Miss Tanya is one of my loyal watchers from Spain. All the way from Spain. We've got Spain, Australia. Who else is in the house from around the globe this morning? Chime in and let me know where you are. Miss Mitzi from South Carolina. Good morning, Miss Lisa. This is fun experimenting, you know. And this, if you have a good non-stick griddle, this coffee grunge will come right off. It just flakes right off. There's nothing, it's not going to ruin your griddle or anything like that if you have a good non-stick surface. Oh, I love this. This is crisping it up pretty good. Now, if you wanted to go a step further, you could leave these on a little bit longer, or you could give them a good spray of like cornstarch. That would probably keep them straight as well too. Feels like summer. Oh my goodness, Miss Tanya. I'm so jealous. I need sunshine in a real bad way around here. It has warmed up here. We have New Hampshire and Ohio and Virginia in the house. Awesome. But I think our high today might be in the upper 40s today. I think that's what we're going to get today. I love how this is kind of turning out. If you have a little bit of time to kind of sit and kind of baby it a little bit, flip it, turn it, this is the perfect method. But if you want to kind of speed it up, you might want to go for the oven method. Or you could go a little bit faster, but I'm just kind of like going careful here. South Carolina and another Virginia friend. Good morning, Miss Jenny. Hey, Miss Kathy, what are y'all up to today? It's early. It's early. Okay. We're going to kind of go ahead and we're going to just, let's see here. Yeah, we're okay here on time. All right. I think what I'm going to get, let me grab my Mod Podge over here. I thought I wasn't going to need my Mod Podge, but I am going to need it. And it's right under my camera, right out of reach. Hold on. Oh, got it. I got it. Oh, we're crammed in this little corner back here. And I am going to knock something over for sure. We might have some blooper reels this morning. All right. I grabbed sort of like my decoupage mixture. It's sort of a spin-off of Mod Podge, but I add, what I have done is I ran out of Mod Podge one day. And I needed more. So what I did, I love this. See how it crisped that up so good? It's like a little tortilla, like a little fried tortilla. That's really what it reminds me of. But it crisps them up so that they're not floppy. Now this one is still a little floppy. I could probably kind of keep crisping it up a little bit. But it crisps them up to where they stay nice and straight. Okay, perfect for a little ornament, hanging on a garland, or as a little bow filler. That's what we're going to do some for. All right, so I ran out of Mod Podge one day. And I thought, okay, well, I know I can use like school glue and create my own Mod Podge. I've seen, tons of you do that, right? So I had school glue, and so what I did is I did 3 parts school glue to 1 part, where is my Corey bats? Hang on. All the technical stuff going on here this morning. Let's turn the hot plate off, and I do not want that to burn anything, so I want to make sure that wasn't touching, sorry. Instead of using the water, I used my coffee grunge mixture. Okay, so 3 parts school glue, white school glue, to 1 part coffee grunge. And depending on what that looks like, sometimes I might add in a little extra cinnamon or a little extra instant coffee to it to either darken it a little bit or to get that those little cinnamon speckles, if you will. I don't know if you'll be able to see. Do you see those cinnamon speckles right in here? Those little speckles, that's the cinnamon, because cinnamon doesn't dissolve. And but that coffee grunge colors the school glue. Okay, you know, school glue is white, right? And so that coffee grunge, that instant coffee, will give it more of that vintage look. Okay, the brown, the tint to it. So if you use this on top of paper or on top of fabric, it's sort of like a 2-for-1. Good morning. Good morning from Oregon. And so this is sort of like the primitive style crafting version of Mod Podge, if you will. Good morning. You see the cinnamon? Awesome. So I think that's what I'm going to use to put these little heart shapes on here. Now I'm just going to use the same brush here. You guys, I still am kind of out of my element here. I still kind of feel like I'm not quite back to my normal crafting space or know where everything is. So I'm still kind of just learning as I go here where everything is again. It's sort of like retraining my brain. Okay, so these little cutouts, the little small homespun heart cutouts that we did just a minute ago, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, I don't know, we need to come up with a name for this. I think we named it last weekend. What did we call this? The grunge, no, what, I called it something and it was perfect. I can't even remember what I called it. I'm going to kind of cover the back of this pretty good so that it will, for one, help it flatten out, and for two, it'll help it stick good to this little heart. Now let me decide which side I like better. Do I like this really blotchy side? I guess I could do both if I really wanted to. We're going to double layer this heart on here. And oh, these are going to be so cute. So cute. And this is a great way to reuse some extra fabric, or maybe even some fabric scraps. You know, you could use these little homespun hearts. You could cut these out. I mean, these are super tiny. They're maybe like 2.5 inches. Yeah, about 2 or 3 inches tall. Would be perfect. Okay, so let me show you what we got here. Now the Mod Podge is still wet, obviously, right? But you see, it's wonky. It's not matchy-matchy. That's perfect. That's the way we want it. I'll spit water and grunge mix. Is that what you call it, Miss Pat? That's funny. That's funny. Yep, I think that's what we're going to do right there. And I would probably, let's stick the dryer on that. And, oh, of course, I don't have it plugged in. Well, wouldn't you know? The hot plate, I needed an extra cord, or I used my plug-in that I usually use for that. That's okay. We'll be fine. Oh, this one like crisped up really perfect. I just let it sit on a really low temp, that griddle, and this one turned out pretty perfect. It's really good and crispy. Hey, how are you, Miss Tony? So you can see how cute these would be, like a whole little collection of these. You could make them slightly different from one another. I'm going to show you here in a second how I'm going to embellish one of them with a little bit of twine. You could add some little rusty safety pins. You could add some little rusty bells if you wanted to. You could add, you could even take it a step further and add like a little tag to them. There's lots of ways you can take these. But I just happened to use what was in my stash. I had a bunch of cotton batting left over that I had used for another project. And I thought this will be perfect. I can reuse that and use some fabric that I have in my stash. Now I am pressing down on those little homespun hearts, the little small ones. I'm pressing that down pretty good because I wanted to make sure that it gets good adhesion to that bottom, that bigger heart, you know what I mean? So I am kind of pressing that down so that those two really kind of marry together, if you will. All right. Now some of them will be darker, some of them will be lighter than each other, but those are cute. Now if you wanted them a little bit more substantial, you could probably double up. You could probably double these up. Now you would have to make sure your heart shapes are matching, you know, to get, you know, the full effect. But you could double them up and glue them together, and they would be a little bit a thicker of a little item. Okay, they would almost look like little primitive little cookies, if you will. And this cotton batting, it's pretty forgiving. My edges, some of my edges are still a little bit whiter. I'm okay. I kind of like the variation in the color, honestly. Those are super easy. All right, super easy. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, you could take some more of that homespun material if you wanted to. Do I have some little fabric scraps here. Let's experiment with taking this a little step further here to see what we can do with these. I think now if you wanted a touch of red, use some different material. You know what I mean? That coffee grunge really kind of tones down your colors. And so you can see how these would be perfect for some everyday decor as well. Yes, you could even sprinkle it. If it's not dark enough, you could sprinkle it. While it's wet, you could sprinkle it with some really ground instant coffee crystals. Okay, sprinkle it over that, and that coffee would dissolve and give you even more of a darker, grungier look. Thank you, Miss Jenny. It's funny because my seat on this chair, I took the seat off when we were moving. It's kind of a funny story. I had to take the seat off while we were moving, and of course it has screws to attach the cushion back on. I can't find my screws. And I haven't, tried to find something else that'll work for right now. So when I got up a second ago, I sat back down, I moved the cushion over and like, whoop. I was like, oh gosh, please don't let me fall on the floor right here while I'm live. That would be crazy. All right, I just took some twine and dipped it in that coffee grunge mixture. I know, wouldn't that be hysterical? Gosh, that would be so crazy. I took some twine and dipped it in that coffee grunge, and I'm just drying it off. And it just kind of dulls the color a little bit. And I'm just going to make, I think I'm just going to make a simple little bow. Let's see what it'll look good. I don't know. Maybe like a simple little bow, like, I don't know, that you can't even see that. There you go. Something like that. Oh, yes, I like that. Okay. Scissors, please. I keep forgetting where I was sitting them. All right. Let's get this tied. And I probably should have made that a little bit longer, but that's okay. You'll get the gist. Make you a little ribbon, or make you a little, or bow rather. And then you can use a longer piece to tie it in the center. It's not wanting to move on me since it's kind of wet. Probably should let it dry a little bit. Well, cooperate with me here. There we go. And then you could glue that at the top. Ask me if I have my hot glue plugged in. No, I don't. So this would be my little hanger, okay, if you want to make these into little ornaments, okay. Pardon my chubby little fingers there. Aren't those cute? Or make a little fabric bow. These are just some some little ripped fabric strips that I have, and would make a cute little bow. Or you can leave them plain, whatever your heart desires. Thank you. How are you, Miss Sandy? I think I like that little fabric look too. So you got two different looks there, just with how you want to embellish them. Aren't those sweet? Or you can leave them plain. Okay. Now let's get this wooden dough bow fixed up real quick before I leave you this morning to enjoy the rest of your day. All right. So, if you will, you remember this wooden dough bowl that I've made? We used some blackened beeswax and we coated some corn cobs and spruced them up for fall. This has been sitting out all fall and throughout the winter in my home, even with these little putka pods. And so we're emptying those out today, and we're turning this into something that'll take us in through Valentine's Day. And you know what? I think these hearts, I think, are perfect for every day. I don't think they scream Valentine's Day at all, which is good. I'm good for every day. I don't do a whole lot of decorating for Valentine's, but I think these hearts are good for every day, and I think these will even be really cute for Americana, like if you decorate for your patriotic holidays here in the U.S. Okay, got so many things scattered around me, you guys. I'm going to take, this is kind of how like my brain works when I go to staging it. I like to take this like a rustic grapevine wreath, and I set my wooden bowl down in it like so. Okay, you can tilt it kind of like that. Now, if I had a whole batch of these hearts, oh, you'd get the full effect. It would be amazing. I don't have a full batch of hearts ready to go yet, but I will be making more. And so what I'm going to do, the plan is anyway, I have one of these white or off-white, creamy white pitberry garlands, and I am going to put this down in my bowl. I'm just going to circle it around sort of like a wreath, and I'm going to put that down in my bowl. This is going to kind of tie in a little bit of the spring look, I think. Now, I may decide that I don't like it. I may decide this white is too white. We'll see. If you have some rusty stars to kind of tuck in here with these hearts, that would be perfect for Americana. Okay. All right. That's totally giving me spring vibes already. That might be too springy. So what I might do instead, I might go with this this mustard color of a garland. That's a little bit more neutral. In fact, I see this and I think I'm going to. That white, I think, is just too white. Hey, we are entitled to change our minds when we craft and when we decorate. That's the whole point, is to get creative and try it out, right? If you don't like it, swap it out. There's a bazillion different ways to do something. And that's what makes everybody's unique, you guys. All right, I'm just kind of bunching this garland up and setting it down in my bowl, and that will kind of help give me a little base inside my bowl. And I know what I forgot to bring to the table. I forgot to bring my little electric candle. I was going to tuck a little candle down in here. That's okay. I'm going to take a finished photo when I get all of my hearts made up and tuck this in with my candle. These are going to be really cute. Now, I'm just would fill this bowl with a ton of those little hearts and a little electric candle, and you've got a really cute, somewhat neutral centerpiece for your country primitive decor. This would look cute on a kitchen island, look cute on a coffee table. That would be really cute on a coffee table. And it's kind of low profile. It would work perfect for a centerpiece as well. You could put a little battery operated taper candle in the center. Lots of ways that you can use those little fabric hearts. So I'm going to finish up making my batch of primitive little grunged hearts while I'm enjoying the rest of today and tomorrow's event in the Chuffed Berry Circle for Don't Go Breakin My Heart. I hope that I've given you some inspiration to maybe think outside of the box a little bit when it comes to decorating with hearts. Doesn't necessarily mean you're locked in for Valentine's Day. Thank you all so much for joining me today. The next creator will be up next over in the Chuffed Berry Circle. You can watch all of the replays there. And thanks for joining me today. You guys have an amazing weekend. Bye.